Hi, I'm Erika Peña. I am the CEO and the designer of Erika Peña Designs. I'm currently living in Bali, Indonesia, one of my favorite places in the world. I came here as a suggestion of one of my really good friends. She's like, you gotta come to Bali, because I was designing and producing jewelry at that time in China. So I came, and the moment I stepped off the plane, I knew this was a place for me and I would live here eventually. And about 10 years later, I literally moved here. So I studied in Parsons School of Design in New York. I got a full scholarship. Tim Gunn was the dean at that time from Project Runway. Love him. I had a mentor, Donna Karen, our senior year, and then I went on to work with her. So the funny thing is, when I was like 7 years old, I have this, I've always had journals. I had this journal and had pictures of Bali. And I wanted, it was my dream places to live. But I didn't know it was Bali because I was too young, so I had that there. So fast forward 30 some years, I'm deciding to move to Bali to do all my jewelry here because I came, I loved it, and I started working with some amazing artisans here, start producing my collection. So I go back to Miami to clean out my house. The book falls, I look at it, and it was my 7-year-old self declaring I was gonna live in Bali. So I think it was an intuition, it was like a realization, like the alchemist. I realized, oh my God, I was always supposed to come to Bali. Even since I was a little girl, I knew this, but it just brought me here anyhow. So when I came to Bali for the 2 weeks and realized this is my place to be, and my friends brought me to work with this amazing company, and I started making my jewelry here, I just would come 3 to 6 times a year, spend months here, and I would just love it. And I declared I would live here one day. I just didn't know when. And then 7 years after that, I moved here. So one of the main reasons that I moved the company to Bali is because I love working with the people here. Balinese and Indonesians tend to be very calm, relaxed, happy people. It's good for a girl coming from New York, stressed out. It actually gave me a little space to be calm, to be able to just really actually enjoy the design process and really get into my designing. Because I was such calm place and surrounded by beautiful nature, I think that really brought me back and got me centered into designing. So it's really important for me, for our offices and factories to have a diverse cultural feeling to it, that we welcome everybody. So it doesn't matter where you're from, where you are, who you are, what your religion, we're just love, pure love. Love is love. So in our factory and in our offices, we have different religions: Muslim, Christian, atheist, Buddhist, Hindu. We don't care, we accept everybody. And different backgrounds. Our office manager used to manage hotels, so he brings in other aspects to it. We have designers that came from Jakarta, that studied in Sydney in Australia, or studied in the best school in Jakarta. So it's really diverse. We love that. We like to work. I feel like we're like the UN sometimes. We have internships from Paris, from Netherlands, interns coming in from Jakarta, Surabaya, from all over. So to me, that's very important, because I feel like it's like our little world. We represent the little world in our little office. Some of my personality traits that I try to reflect in my clothing are this fierceness, goddess, sensual, vibrant and colorful, fun, just, just fabulous, I guess. Fabulous, like a little bit of a Sex and the City girl. That's how I would describe my personality in my dresses. So my inspiration when I'm going to design a new collection, usually I start by taking photos of things that inspire me. Maybe I'm in my scooter, I see an amazing new building they built, and I'm like, oh my God, I love that, so cool, I'll take a photo of that. Or I saw a floral arrangement that I fell in love with. Or it's just some really cool looking girl and I'm like, oh my God, she's my muse, that's the girl. I really try to find inspiration, things that I love, that trigger me, that are different. And then I sit down and I'm like, okay, how am I gonna design all of these, that plant I like, that building, that girl, where is she going on vacation? What is she wearing? What shoes is she gonna wear with that? And from there, it goes into sketching, and I start sketching the ideas. So whatever I designed last season, I'm gonna keep that in mind for the new season. And then that prime color, make sure that all the other colors that go with it create a beautiful, harmonious, color palette that you could also wear with the pieces from last season. So I feel like the collection should be like chapters. So whatever the colors were red and magenta last season, I am gonna do chapter number 5 is gonna be it's gonna also reflect on chapter 4. So items and colors from last season coming into the new season, but keeping it fresh. So that's very important for me. So you have timeless pieces in your closet that you keep wearing. So after sketching, we select the most difficult pieces to start first, to start the patterns and the draping for those, because we know that that's gonna probably be the hardest. Once we get that, we can work off of that pattern. So I keep our patterns that really work for us, that our customers love. We always keep them in mind, bring them back, but we tweak and change them. And then we add new silhouettes that we work with. And I sit down with our team, we figure out, okay, what do you think that we're gonna need of materials? Or we need crinoline, is that sleeve, is that gonna be gathered? Is it gonna be tucked in? Those little details of how we want the patterns and the sleeves to look and the buttons. And we write all of those down and literally figure out what is going to be our details in the new patterns before we even get started with the patterns. Once we've decided that, we head over to our pattern room with our pattern maker and we sit down and we start discussing each design and how we're gonna execute it. Where we want the princess seam, where we want the dart. Do we want to pick up the client's bust? Do we wanna not show the bust? Do we want the sleeve to be higher? Do we want it to fall softly on the sleeve? These aspects to me are very important because they really differentiate your brand, your design, and the look. So I use a lot of fabric in my dresses because I, first of all, love draft fabrics, and it's very Erika Peña, just 20 meters, 17 meters, 15 meters. That's the typical amount of fabric we use in our dresses. So when you move around, when you swoosh, when you lift your skirt, when you're dancing, you really see it. You could feel it when you take that Instagram photo. That's why the dress looks epic and it looks like amazing. It's because it has about 17, 20 meters of fabric. So many people ask, wow, your dresses they're a little pricey. And I said, they're actually not that pricey for what it is. It takes 3 days from start to finish to make one of my dresses. That's 3 days dyeing, cutting, hand sewing, French seams to put together one dress. That dress has 17 meters of fabric. So I feel all that time, that effort is priceless for a garment that you're gonna look like a goddess, that you're gonna look beautiful. So that's why our dresses are the prices they are.
you.